Hi guys, so we are going to proceed to the next phase of our SQL class. So today I want us to look at a very important aspect which we want to start understanding or learning the commands, various commands, SQL commands, and they are the SQL keywords that you have to know irrespective of the database management system you are using. So if you are using MySQL, if you are using Oracle, if you are using SQL Server, if you are using PostgreSQL, or you are using SQLite, irrespective of the database management system you are using, you have to understand these SQL commands. It's for structured database, or unlike NoSQL, which is like MongoDB doesn't use SQL. Of course, you know it's not structured; it's schemaless in a way. So let us look at it right now. Now, the keyword we are going to look at is SQL Select. That's the one of the basic one you need to start learning before we move to the advanced aspect of or the advanced keywords. So let us look at it right now. So the select keyword is used to retrieve data from a table in a database. You know, want to retrieve data, you want to get 13 data sets, or from a database or from a table in a database, you have to use the keyword select. You are selecting something from a table. Okay, so let's look at it, some other aspect of select. So in the CRUD acronym, I've always made a reference to CRUD one time. If you remember in my previous class, I say CRUD is an acronym. It stands for create, read, update, and delete. So the word CRUD, it just about four keywords there that is combined, or they are combined. So the select command is represented as read. So you want to read something, you want to retrieve something, that means read. So that is select. In other words, we say select, but it's not called read in SQL, in proper, but it's called select. So let us look at it now. The example, one of the example we are going to look at is the select star from country. So it's very simple. So SQL look like just like normal English sentence or statement. So any sentence you make, like this one, it's called not sentence, it's called statement. So you end with semicolon. You have to end semicolon. You always end an English sentence with a full stop, but in this context you end with semicolon. Of course, if it's the only one line there, even though you don't put semicolon, it still works. Okay, so select star from countries. Star, this one, star, it means all the columns. That's what it represents, all the columns from countries. So you are learning how to use the language right now. So if you see star, know that it implies every column. You understand? So then the other one, if you are not going to select all the columns, then you have to specify the names of the column. Okay, so like this now, say select ID. For instance, in a table you have ID column, you have name, and let's assume that ID and name, and then possibly status, for instance. These are the three columns, but you want to select, you want to specify the particular columns that will be selected. So number one, you have ID and name alone, so you don't want to select the status, so you can say select ID, name from countries. Countries is a table in a database. So let me make it that one clear. Countries is simply a table. So select is used in conjunction with table. We want to retrieve certain data set from a table. Okay, so let us proceed and look at it right now. So let me go back to my SQL workbench. I've already told you how to set up your environment, which we have learned, and how to create a database. So I'm just going to go straight to creating database, and then we bring in the table. The table is already prepared. So I'm going to, in the description section of this YouTube channel, I'm going to put the link to the dataset. In case you want to use my dataset, fine, you can just download this free, just make use of it. Okay, so I'm going to create a database. Of course, I've told you how to create a database. I can say create. Let me zoom it big. Okay, create database, just database. What's the name of the database? I'll call it world. Okay, create the database world. So I'll run it, you will see world will appear here. So I'll refresh it, you see world here. So in this world, I'll right click. I already told you how to import your CSV. Please watch my previous video on how to import a data set that's in form of CSV. So I can say table data import wizard. So just import. So I browse it, says CSV. I already have CSV. Yes, on the description box, if you want to get these data sets, so you get it there. So next, I just click next, like that, so I click next until it's imported. Everything is imported and finished. Okay, so I'll click finish. So 19 records were imported. So this is, so if I refresh it now, you will see the data sets already here. So data sets already here. So you see columns. The column here is Syria, country, Syrian number, country, population, like that. So I don't need those columns. Maybe I can delete them. I can drop them later, but don't worry about that. Let's just focus on our keyword select. Okay, so now we already have the name of the database is world and the name of the table is country. So you can have several tables, like let's say 5 tables in a database. Okay, so let's go straight right now. So I'll say use the table. You know, there are a lot of databases. If you check, you see hotel management system, MECAT, test interviews. So these are different database, but I want to make use of world. So I'll just say use. You may not give space, please. Anyhow, you can. I'm giving space between line 1 and 3. Use what? World. So use world. So I'm going to make use of words so that we pinpoint or focus on that particular world database. So I'll click enter now. So you see now. So I can use my keyword now. The name of the table is country. Name of the table. So I'll say select star. Sorry, select star. I'm say select all the columns now. From where? From which table? From countries table. That's countries. I just say countries. Okay. So say from countries. So if I run it right now, you will see that it's like this. So it's going to show me all. See how it's very simple. Okay. So if you can put semicolon to end. So I want to make another statement again. I'm using this one to run it. Take note. Just to run a particular line wherever the line that the cursor is. So you see. So let me run another one again. So I have how many columns? I have several columns here. I can just touch the column to be selected. So I want to say select country and population alone. So select country and population alone, not all the columns. I can say select country. So you must write it the way it's written. But if you don't want to, if you cannot type it, you just double click it there. You can just double click here to put it by itself. Put comma, double click again to put it by itself. So you understand? From country. So you see now from countries. So if I run it now, you will see that it's going to select only the country and population from the table. Okay. So if you want to select, let me add on that one again. Let me select. So if I say select serial name alone, so if I double click it and country. No, I don't want to type it because you have to type it exactly the way it is. If capital letters, sentence case, you have to. So country. Okay. From countries. I think you can even touch it there to work, you know. But let me type it, you know. So countries, okay. So if you enter now, you see it listed like this, okay. Now, let me quickly clarify something here. Quickly. Now, if you see this serial number, it's putting a kind of I would like a backtick, backtick symbol, like quotation mark. Not really a quotation mark, please. It's not a quotation mark, or it's neither a double quotation mark or single quotation mark. It's close to your escape button. If you are using a keyboard like my own or HP or whatever product, close to escape button, the button below the escape button, you will see something like these symbols there. It's like a quote, so it's called backtick. So if there is space, let's assume that your like this country now, this country column is just one single name, so it's not there's no inconsistency there. But if there is space, if something like this, a column name is country info, for instance, if it's country info, because of this space here, it doesn't permit space or something different, let's say slash. So that's where you have to now use, if there is space, so you have to now use something like this. Okay, you can use something like this, including the name of your table. If the name of your table also has space, like it's a compound word, like 2 words, like country country data, let me assume that the name of my table is country data. Because of that space there, you understand, so you can put that Baltic quotation mark. I'll call it Baltic quotation mark. Okay, so that is where you put the this one too is not a regular kind of like, because of that slash, so you put it. So even though you don't have space, you can still put it, you understand. So if you have something like this, even though you have something like, the country is not a, you know, you can still put that stuff there. If you put it, it still works. It still works. So if I still run it, it works. Get it now? So it still work. Okay, so I want you to take note of that. Very, very important. Very important. Or else you're going to have difficulties in querying certain information from a table. Okay, so we are going to stop from here. I'm going to look at other conditions like where, and, not, limit. Like you want to select the first 5 rows, you want to select based on condition, whoever is greater than 30, you want to 30 million. If population is greater than 30 million, select only the population, all the countries that has population greater than 30 million. So all those are conditional, different conditions like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the next class. So for now, we're going to stop in this place. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the end of this class, and I believe you have gotten the best. If you have gotten the best, make sure you subscribe, you like, and share with your friends and loved ones, and keep promoting this channel. So I'll appreciate you so much. That is what you're going to do for me. Take me a lot of sacrifices to put this together. Thank you once again, and do have a wonderful day.